Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. Hope you're all doing very well. How good does it feel to see Manchester United top of the league after one game? No, but seriously, it does feel good. It was a fantastic performance today, and it's, you know what, we could have been in such a different situation. Would you have been surprised if I'd have been sat here saying we've blown it, it's 1-1, or, you know, we weren't quite ready and we lose, and we saw that last season. So let's appreciate it, let's respect it, and let's give it the credit it deserves, because this time, a year ago, we lost to Crystal Palace, and it was like, how did we do that? Because we were ready. So look, Mark is not Ollie in, judging from his reaction. Mate, you can put words in my mouth as much as you like. You can do your out of context clips, and you can run off with it and try and get relevant off my name, because that's what you're trying to do. But the reality is, I am Ollie in. I've been Ollie in since we lost, since we signed Bruno. And you can try and put words in my mouth. You can try and manipulate what I'm saying. I don't care. I'm in a good mood. I've consistently been Ollie in. I've consistently been a bit doubtful about whether he's the right person. But if I want to say Ollie out, I'll bloody say it. And I'm not Ollie out. And I actually would say right at the start of this show, if you're Ollie out, you're probably going to end up losing, because I was thinking about this after the game today. I was watching Ricky's fan cam, and Ricky really did put a warning out and say, look, Villa beat Liverpool 7-2. You can't just get excited about one result. We beat Leeds 6-2 last season. And did we go on and win the league? So you can't start talking about league titles because of that. But it did get me thinking, and I was like, Sancho, Varane, Pogba, Bruno, Greenwood, Cavani, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, David De Gea, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, you know, Rashford, so many good players. I think it's impossible. Clip this. I think it's impossible for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to not do well at this club. And what I mean by not do well, it's impossible for him to finish outside the top four. And if he doesn't finish outside the top four, he won't lose his job. I think if you're an Ollie outer, your chance of that happening has probably disappeared for a very long time. Because I just don't see how he's going to fail. You see that today. You see the amount of quality we've still got to come back. I just don't see how he's going to fail. Now, failure for me is not winning the title. A failure for me is finishing third or fourth, but that's not failure for the Glazers. So I think he's in for the long run. Interesting things to talk about tonight. I want to talk about Pogba, of course. A lot of people saying sign him up, and I want to, you know, is that the right thing to say? I want to talk about that. Lingard, Romano has been speaking about West Ham. Very interesting. A very interesting story about Raphael Varane. Now, I'm going to start off with this because it's not a major story, but it's an interesting story for a community that we have. So basically, after the game today, I was sent a clip from an article in the Manchester Evening News by Samuel Luckhurst explaining why Raphael Varane, who is now official, I've got to say, just on that Varane announcement, well rescued by United. What a last minute effort that was, because you're telling me, and it was amazing. It was amazing. It must have been amazing to be in the ground, because it was amazing to watch it. You know, Raphael Varane coming on the pitch, new signing, holding up the shirt, absolutely fantastic. And you know, I'm not taking the piss out of City, even though I am. But you know, Jack Grealish walks out on a midweek night to 200 people, and the cameraman's trying to get perspective, but really he's only one deep. United doing it in front of 75,000 people. Now, look, Man City could have done that with Grealish next week. Of course they could. But you know, United, that was fantastic what they did with Varane. It really was. But what I would say is, it just shows you how you can manipulate and rescue a situation, because there is no way that was the plan. You're telling me United were like, let's unveil Varane just before the kickoff of the Leeds game. And Ollie's like, hold on a minute, Woody. He did his medically on Wednesday morning. I could play him against Leeds if you announce it at Wednesday lunchtime. No, we're going to do it on the pitch on Saturday. You know what I mean? Something went wrong, because the medical was done on Wednesday morning and he could have been playing today. So they rescued it very, very well. But the interesting thing I was going to say, very interesting, is that in that article they said that Varane has got the number 19 shirt, but he wanted the number 4 shirt. And the number 4 shirt would not be relinquished by Phil Jones. And immediately, I'm happy to say, my immediate reaction is that should not be in the public domain. That's going to damage Phil Jones. And this is, for me, why I'm always about what's best for Manchester United and banter. I'm never about how you might damage a player mentally or bullying or anything like that. And look, some people might say banter's bully. Well, you know what? At the end of the day, if banter's bullying, then, you know, we may as well just all get rid of our comedies and sitcoms that we've grown up with, haven't we? Because that's what's defined my comedy throughout my lifetime. But let's not go down that road. Let's go down this road. I have got no problem with Samuel Luckhurst of the Manchester Evening News putting that story out there as long as it's accurate. But the minute it goes... And look, that's what a journalist's job is. They're there to put the news out. Sometimes you've got to put news out that's not comfortable. But Phil Jones refusing to give up the number 4 shirt is never going to be received well, is it? And you've got to think, does that need to go in the public domain? Like, why did Sancho get 25? Did Cavani refuse to give up number 7? Or did United not bother? You know, we don't really know the full story of that, and we don't need to. Don't think we need to know that Phil Jones refused to give the number 4 shirt up. Because instantly, and look, I'll be honest, I was like, you won't give up the number 4 shirt. You never bloody wear the number 4 shirt, you know, and that's your initial reaction. But at the end of the day, it's only a number. It's only a number. But I don't think it does Phil Jones any favours. And at this moment in time, he's got a lot on his plate. You know, he's always injured. He's not particularly good. And now we are knowing that our superstar centre-back can't be number 4 because Phil Jones won't give the shirt up. And yet, Martial comes off his best ever season under Van Gaal. Van Gaal gets the sacked and Martial loses his shirt. He's just had an amazing season. You're not number 9 anymore. It's Zlatan. We've done it before. I just don't know. I think I just thought it's a really good Saturday night topic because... Wait a minute. Phil Jones is not the CEO of Manchester United and he's not the manager. If I say to Phil Jones, like Mourinho did, he took the number 5 off Rojo, didn't he, and made it available because he wanted a centre-back and we didn't get one. We can take that number 4 shirt off Phil Jones. Whether he wants to or not, we can do. So I don't know. I'm not comfortable with that story. At the end of the day, we've got Rafael Varane. He's one of the best centre-backs in the world. If he'd worn the number 4 shirt, maybe that matters to somebody. To me, it doesn't matter as long as it's got a Manchester United emblem on the front. But I don't think it... I'm not that comfortable with the story, to be honest, because I just think it puts a lot of shit on Phil Jones. Now, I've bantered Phil Jones, pink boots, you know, Pratt, all that. But, you know, there is an element of comedy to that. I don't really want serious problems about Phil Jones being a bloody, you know, holding on to number 4. I don't know. But I thought it was an interesting topic because it's all about opinion. Angela Rice is CDM in this United squad today, says Desiree. It would have been nice, yes. Let's talk about Pogba anyway, because Solskjaer's Pogba challenge. As we know, Ollie's spoken about Pogba quite a lot. And he was speaking about Pogba after the game today. And basically he said, we gave Pogba the freedom to express himself. And my God, did he express himself. 4 assists. Can't wait for match of the day. So excited. But Pogba was brilliant today. Bruno was brilliant today. And it got me a thinking. Solskjaer's Pogba challenge. Solskjaer said yesterday in his press conference, and he hinted it again today after the match, Pogba knows what we want. We're giving him the platform. We want him to stay. We know that, right? The question is, you'll get people saying you've got to sign him up. He's amazing. You'll get other people saying, it's one game. He's got more... You know, there's this stat today that he got more assists today than he got in a whole season last year. Now, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Is that a warning or is it something to be grateful for? I think it's something to be grateful for because it could mean he's going to have a great season. But then the other way, it could be a warning that, bloody hell, you know, he didn't even get that many assists last year and we want to give him 400 grand a week. I think the thing for me with Paul Pogba is that I don't know that... I've always said this. I don't know there's a right answer. Romano tonight said that Manchester United have always been confident that they'll keep Paul Pogba at the football club this summer. And they're going to try again to get him on a contract. I think we all know Pogba's going to run his contract down. And I wish we didn't have that noise around him this season because every good game he has, sign him up. Every bad game he has, sell him. But the reality is, it's down to him and Riola. And he's got one of the worst agents you could ever have in charge of him. So I think he will run his contract down. But the interesting thing for me is, if I had the power, or you had the power, they took the number 19 off the Diallo because he's going on loan. Callum, yes he is. Thanks for the super chats there. But if I said to you tonight, right, Paul Pogba will sign a 5-year deal at United if you give him 400 grand a week. Would you do the deal? Now, it's really difficult because on today's performance, you go, well, that's the sort of thing that a superstar does. And, you know, in the modern day, 400 grand a week is probably a little bit too much, but not, you know, it's his last contract, I understand. And he's out of contract. So part of me thinks yes. And then part of me goes in on what Solskjaer said and thinks, So we gave Pogba the freedom today at Old Trafford against Leeds. Thumbs up. Adam was on about this on Sunday. We're playing Leeds at Old Trafford in front of 75,000 fans. It shouldn't just be Bruno who's got freedom. Pogba should have freedom. He's playing on the left wing. Let McTominay and Fred do the work. Fine. Absolutely fine. When you're playing away from home, are you going to let Pogba and Bruno have the freedom? You can't. You've got to have a shape. When you're playing Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, are you going to let Pogba and Bruno have the freedom and not have to track back? You can't. They've got to track back. So this Pogba freedom thing works really well today against Leeds. But this goes back to what I've said before. I feel we're shoehorning Pogba in to make him happy. To give him that platform that we all talk about. You've got to build a team around him. You've got to make him happy. And I think Ollie's doing that. And I think he did it from Christmas until the end of the season. Occasionally, he kept giving Pogba the left wing spot and said, you don't need to worry about defending, just express yourself. But the problem with that is, even a team like Leeds can exploit Pogba's weaknesses on the left-hand side. We saw it with Ayling today. You'll see it a lot more with better teams. I think, for me, I would be very tempted to give Pogba a contract and challenge everybody else. But what I would want to see, as the CEO, I would want to say to Solskjaer, so what's the plan? If I give him this contract and make him the best paid player at the club, what is the plan with him? Because I've got no doubts Paul Pogba's a superstar player, but I do have doubts about how you're using him. Well, what do you mean? What you're talking about? Give him the contract, T. Well, the reality is, Ollie, you are playing him on the left wing. I don't think he's a left winger. And I also think you can't play him on the left wing against the better teams and away from home because you'll lose your shape defensively. So where are you going to play him when you're playing at the Etihad and when you're playing at Liverpool? Like, I know you did it last year, but it didn't necessarily work. He didn't get the freedom. So I will give Pogba that contract, but you tell me where he's playing every bloody game, because I know where Bruno's playing. I know where Cavani's playing. I know where Harry Maguire plays. I know where Luke Shaw plays. I don't know where Pogba plays. Are you telling me he's now going to be a left winger? Because I don't think that's going to work. Because, you know, when you play the better teams, the shape's not going to work. Or are you going to build it like that every week? And if he is going to play left wing, who's playing right wing? I spent 75 million on Sancho. What's happening with Rashford? What's happening with Martial? What's happening with Greenwood? Because only one of them can play, because you've got Sancho, Pogba, Cavani or Greenwood or Martial. You know, I want to know. I think the problem with me with Pogba is, I don't know that Ollie... I think Ollie knows how great Pogba is, but I still think I sort of agree with Ricky that we are shoehorning him in and he's not actually nailed down where he wants to play Pogba. Now, for me, you buy a holding midfielder like a Declan Rice, you play Paul Pogba next to him with the licence to get forward. That's Pogba's best position. Rashford to the left, Sancho to the right, Cavani, Greenwood, Martial up front, whatever. But Pogba on the left, McTominay and Fred or Matic and Fred or whatever, Sancho on the right, you're benching strikers, you're benching people like Rashford, Martial, Greenwood to put Pogba on the left whilst we've still got a weak midfield. I think this is what we need to establish, because that's only my opinion. From Pogba's point of view, he might love being on the left wing. From Ollie's point of view, he might be loving him having on the left wing. But I think we need to nail down what the vision is with Paul Pogba, because at the moment it feels like, to me, sometimes you're going to play in the midfield, sometimes you're going to be on the left wing, and that isn't what you do with a superstar like Paul Pogba. So that's what I would say before I wanted to give him a contract. Knowing what little I do about Varane, he's just a proper professional. I doubt he would have made a big fuss about a shirt number, says Simran. Oh, I don't think he has made a big fuss. I think he wanted the number 4 shirt. He couldn't get the number 4 shirt, and I think he's taken the number 19 shirt. Definitely do. In fact, it's a shame because we've had an announcement video for Sancho, we've had announcement videos for Pogba. God, we've had announcement videos for Lindelof on this channel. We didn't get an announcement video for Varane because it happened in the middle of a watch-along. And there were so many things I wanted to say about Varane, so I'll say it now. What a player. There is a documentary on Amazon Prime, 4 episodes about Raphael Varane. I would say watch it. It's subtitled because it's not in English. But, you know, he, as a young lad, his mum and dad, his dad was a coach. He got into... Was it Lens? I think he got into Lens, and I think he lived in Lille. But he got into Lens, which was a bit of a drive away, and his mum used to drive him there, like for training and stuff like that. Such a family guy. I think he's been with his wife, who's like his childhood sweetheart. He went to Real Madrid at 18, and I think Ronaldo tried to call him Varane, and he went, "It's Rafa." He's just a very focused footballer, professional footballer. There's no baggage. There's no, party boy thing like that. He's just straight down the line, family, focused, nice guy. And I think this professional who's won everything is perfect for Manchester United. And look, I always knew about him as the player. I'm so impressed with him as the person as well. And look, it doesn't have to be. We all know there's some right shithouse footballers out there who are brilliant on the pitch and knobheads off it. But I tell you what, if you can get that Juan Mata thing where they're fantastic people off the pitch and on the pitch, obviously that's going to provide you the stability that you want at a club like Manchester United. So very, very pleased to have him at the club. And I'll offer a little bit of controversy as well. I don't know where people sit on this. I would drop Lindelof next. I can't believe. Look, it's a great conversation to have. Somebody said to me, I was doing a watch along on That's Football this afternoon, and they said to me, well, at the end of the day, I don't know why you questioned Ollie. How's about just shutting up and letting him get on with it? And I went, that's a great point, but it's not football. I don't care whether you support Liverpool, United or West Ham. The reality is, since I was a kid, you've moaned about, well, it's not even moaning. You've debated who should be starting, who you need to sign, who you need to sell. That's football. If you just want to accept what Solskjaer does or Klopp does or Pep does, I'll tell you what, take the rest of the week off and come back next Saturday when you're playing. The brilliance of football is that those 90 minutes once a week or twice a week are fantastic. But the time in between, that's what being a football fan's all about. It's the debate that goes on. And it's interesting that United won today, and I saw people saying, well, you can't really drop Lindelof. He dropped an 8 out of 10. You can't really bring Varane in. And I was like, hold on a minute. Come on. Right. Wife says to me she's working late. She better be working late. I don't want any of that affair talk. But she says she's working late, right? I'm busy. I'm just going to make myself beans on toast. I like beans on toast. I might put a sprinkling of cheese on the top. I love it. Ooh, bit of barbecue sauce on the side. Love it. It's not high cuisine, but I tell you what, for a Tuesday night dinner, it's absolutely fine and it gets the job done. It's Victor Lindelof. I'm just about to eat it. I'm starving. I'm like, yeah, this is great. Just about to eat it. I hear the door. The wife walks in. I've finished a bit early. I've brought us home a Chinese takeaway. I am not going to go, you know what, crack on with your Chinese takeaway. I'm going to eat my beans on toast. I like my beans on toast. It's very sufficient at filling a hole and an appetite, and it's a very nice meal. But it ain't a Chinese takeaway. That beans on toast is going in the bin, which is a bit wasteful, or I'm going to put it in a container and put it in the fridge for tomorrow, the Carabao Cup. But tonight, I'm eating Chinese takeaway. And this is what we must do next Saturday against Southampton. Now, I don't know whether Ollie will do it, because Ollie is a bit odd. Like his team selection today, I totally disagree with it, but he got it right. But we cannot have a situation where we're going into... Look, I think it's really important with Sancho and it's really important with Varane. These two players would start for most teams in Europe. And I really am talking Barcelona, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Bayern Munich. Argument's okay, but they are that calibre. Sancho and Varane start for most of the best teams in the world. You can't go to Southampton and go, well, we beat Leeds 5-1 at home, Karaki. It's only fair that we keep the same team. Dan James on the right and left Lindelof at the back. It's beans and toast. Varane's got... somebody said to me today, do you think we'll see Varane rotated with Lindelof? What? Varane's better than Maguire. Varane is going to be our best centre-back. Why would we rotate Varane with Lindelof? Varane goes straight into that team. That's what we've bought here. We've bought one of the world's best centre-backs. He's won 4 Champions Leagues, a World Cup, La Liga. He goes straight in. I don't care whether Lindelof scored a hat-trick from centre-back. Varane is better. He goes in the team. I don't care whether Dan James scored a hat-trick. Out, Sancho in. And you know the reason why? One, they're world class and you've got to be ruthless. And if you want a title challenge, you need to get your best team on the pitch. This is not a charity. This is Manchester United. I like Lindelof and I like Dan James, but they are not that level of Varane and Sancho. So you've got to pick them. So the main thing is you need to put your best team out as much as you can because you've got a bigger chance of winning. Have we got a better chance of beating Southampton with Varane and Sancho over Lindelof and James? There's your answer. The second point is, and I said it today, if you don't start Sancho and you start James and you bring Sancho on for 20 minutes and he doesn't really get into the game, that's 2 games gone. You then play Wolves, he's like, well, I'll start James again, he comes on for 20 minutes. It's then an international break. You come back, it's the middle of September, Sancho's not even starting yet. Oh, Sancho's a flop. Oh, Sancho's a flop. Pressure on Sancho. These players need to get in the team. We've bought them. We want them. We've spent money on them. Get them in the team from the start and get them integrated quick. Because the longer you don't play them, the longer it will take to integrate them. You know, if you don't play Sancho against Southampton or Wolves, and then you think, oh, I'll start him against West Ham. We've already set him back 3 weeks. Get him in the bloody team. Get him integrated. And the same with Varane. The fans will lose it if Varane and Sancho don't start next week. I don't think they will, Simran, because I think we probably would still beat Southampton with Lindelof and James. But it's about getting your best team out. I don't know what Ollie will do. We'll talk about it during the week. Couple of outgoings. Dan James and Jesse Lingard. Hey, mate, Summit says, what about McFred? Mate, I don't even want to get into that. We played well today. We won. I don't understand why Matic and Donny didn't play, but I haven't got a leg to stand on because we won and Ollie got it right. I don't agree with McTominay and Fred. I don't like that combination, but we won and we won well. You know, sometimes you've got to accept defeat. Like, they played well today and we won today. What I would say is, I don't see a future at Man United for Donny van der Beek. When is he going to get a chance? Like, when? And I'm not saying we won. We won today. We did win today, but I can't ignore the Donny van der Beek thing because people keep talking about it. We won today. You can't say anything better than that. Ollie got it right. But I would say, if you want to talk a bit about the topic of Donny van der Beek, it's not about today. Donny van der Beek's been at this club for a year. I don't see a future for Donny van der Beek. For me, he was brilliant against Everton and should have started today. If he can't start, when he comes back from an injury, he's bulked up, he's fit, he's raring to go, he's determined, he doesn't get a minute. What is he supposed to do? Like, when, you know, people say wait for your chance. He's waited for his chance. He's had his chance and he still gets kicked out of the team. I just don't see how Donny van der Beek is going to get near this team. I just don't see it. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. An Arsenal fan said to me today on the watch along, I'd love to have Van der Beek at Arsenal. And I said, you know what? It's getting to that point where I'd love to see Van der Beek at Arsenal because he's too good to just be sitting on the bench not getting minutes. And I desperately want him to play in a United shirt. But maybe we're starting, you know, I know it's early days. I'm hopeful. I am hopeful and we're not at that point yet. But if we are at this point now, in 3 months, we've got to let him go. You can't buy a player of that quality and have him 18 months not being used. And I just don't think Ollie rates him. And I don't know why, because I think he's a good player. But, you know, hopefully I'm wrong on that one. But, look, talking about outgoings, Romano's been talking about Jesse Lingard. He said, look, he'll either stay at Man United or he'll go to West Ham. Let's see what happens in the next few days. I'd only reiterate what I've said before, and I've got no idea what's going on with Jesse Lingard, but I did think it today. I thought, you know, for today was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to watch the highlights again. I haven't even watched any of the goals again because I purposely just want to enjoy match of the day. I'll probably watch the game again a bit tomorrow. Ricky's probably watched it 6 times by now. But I think Donny van der Beek will start against Southampton in Fred's place. Sumia, I think you're having a laugh. I really do think you're having a laugh. I would bet you 20 quid Donny van der Beek will not start against Southampton. In fact, you don't even have to put the bet up. I will find a way to get you 20 quid if Donny starts next Saturday. You don't have to give me anything. It won't happen. But on Lingard, we were fantastic today, as I said. But it did highlight something to me. I don't mind if people want to keep Jesse Lingard at the club. I don't care if Jesse Lingard wants to stay at the club. But I've said it so many times. Jesse Lingard was playing first team football for West Ham and was one of the highlights of the Premier League in the last few months of the season. If he goes to West Ham or Leicester or wherever, he will be again. He'll start every game and he'll play football and he'll love it. If he stays at United, 28 years of age. I just don't see. I mean, look. Ollie starts players that we don't expect him to start. Dan James started today, so Lingard could start games. But I look at it and I go, well, wait a minute. Let's just go back to what we were talking about a minute ago. If Paul Pogba's now going to be playing as an attacking player, he's not a midfielder anymore. He's an attacking player. That means obviously up front, Jesse can't play up front. So Cavani, Martial, whatever. There's 3 positions that Jesse can play. Bruno's left attack, right attack, right? So let's go through the options we've got without Jesse. Dan James, Bruno, Pogba from today. Sancho, Greenwood, Martial, Rashford. 7 players who can play. What did I say? I said James, Bruno, Pogba, Sancho, Greenwood, Rashford, Martial. So 7 players for 3 positions, and Jesse Lingard 8. There just isn't a place for him, is there? There isn't. And if United are telling him there is, and he thinks there is, maybe there is, but it's not going to be an easy thing. And Mata as well. Forgot about Mata. 8. So we've got 8 players for 3 positions, and Donny can play there as well. The writing's on the wall for me. I just think he's got to go. I think it's such an obvious thing to do. But whether it'll happen or not, I don't know. But I just think we've got too many players in that position, and most of them, arguably not Dan James and Mata, are better than Jesse. So I think he needs to go. Which leads us on to Ahmad. I know this broke last night, but Ahmad, I mean, look, there's no, when you list it out like that, I've got to admit, how's Ahmad going to get any game time? And the thing is, I do think Ahmad is better than some of those players have said, but I think Donny's better than some of the players that started today, and he doesn't start. And I think Ahmad, as we've seen, Ollie would use Mata ahead of Ahmad. He would use James ahead of Ahmad. So he's never going to get any game time. So as sad as it is, because I think Ahmad's a fantastic player, it looks like he's going to go on loan 100%. Which is very sad because we bought 2 right wingers last year and they've both basically been loaned out. And you'd wonder what that was all about. Were they panic buys? Do you think Ahmad and Pellistri were panic buys a year ago? Because I thought they were. And they've just been loaned off, which is, a little bit sad in the case of, well, I think Pellistri looks good in the limited of time I've seen him. But I certainly think Ahmad's very special. Now, the options for Ahmad are Basel in Switzerland or Palace. I mean, look, let's have a debate. Where would you send Amad Diallo? I think that, for me, Palace. If Amad Diallo plays 20 games for Palace and scores 5 goals, but he plays 40 games for Basel and scores 10 goals, what's more impressive? Well, it's clearly Palace because the Premier League is better. And that's why I want him to... And also, we play in the Premier League. So I really hope that we can get Amad Diallo to Crystal Palace. Because he might not start straight away, but I guarantee you he'll work his way in. And if he can get 10, 15 starts in the Premier League this season, it's 10, 15 starts he'll never get at United in a league that we want him to play in. I want him to go to Palace. I'm just worried if United will send him abroad because of that reason. Well, we don't want him at Palace because what if he tears it up and then everyone will go, we're stupid. Let's send him to a European league where people will go, well, he's doing well, but it's not the Premier League. Sometimes it can be like that. For me, the most logical thing is, if I'm United, is get him in the Premier League, get him adjusted to the Premier League. But sometimes it's like, don't put him in the Premier League. It might cause us an issue. Let's send him somewhere else. So I wouldn't be surprised if we send him to Basel. But you know what? I think that would be such a shame. It would be such a shame for Ahmed because we bought him from Atalanta. He was knocking on the door of a Serie A top 6 side. He comes to Man United and we send him to a bloody pub league. Like, I want him to play in a good league. Whatever you say about Pellistri, he is playing in La Liga. So I want him to play in a very good league. And hopefully we can get him a move to Palace because I think the Swiss league... It's not even as good as Chong in the Belgian league, is it? Come on, he's a special player. Palace, no doubt, says Sumya. Hopefully that will happen with that as well. which performance was better, the 6-2 or the 5-1, says Oliver Smith. I think the 6-2 game was a better game of football, to be fair. But the 5-1 was better because Bruno got a hat-trick and Pogba got 4 assists. So, yeah. I enjoyed today, and it had 75,000 people in it, and it had Varane walking on the pitch. Today was better because of the crowd. The other game was an exhibition, wasn't it? This felt like a proper game of football. And to see the Leeds fans celebrate at 1-1 and think they were back in it, and how quickly that changed around, I enjoyed today. Look, I think we'll beat Southampton next week. I think they look shit. I think we can beat... For me, I'm just... You know what I'm doing? I'm enjoying the moment and I'm taking every game at a time. Because I'm not going to get carried away. You know, we are top of the league. So, no, I'm going to enjoy the moment, but I'm not getting carried away. This title talk, for me, is just elation. We're drunk on elation, basically, because I'm going to be true to myself here. I do not think that midfield is anywhere near good enough to win a league. So I think it's good enough to beat anybody, but I think consistently, week in, week out, I just don't see it. I really, really don't. So I just think that will be our problem. And look, Liverpool have won today. Chelsea have won today. I'm sure Man City will win tomorrow. That's a massive hint that we're going to have to win nearly every week to be in this title race. And this is so important that we get off to a good start, and we did today. And it's the first game. And I think that, you know, you can't... I'd never want to be that fan that beats Leeds 5-1 and go, well, it's only the first game. Everyone's getting hyped up. I don't want to be like that at all. I want to enjoy it. I can't wait for Match of the Day. But I'm also realistic that even if we win the first 6 games, and I want to win the first 6 games, I'm not going to say we're going to win the league, because that's just the first page. You know, there's October, there's November, there's December, there's January. You know, there's the top 6 sides to play. We're not playing a top 6 side in the first 6 games. So we're not. There's no top 6 side in the first 6 games. So the first step is to win the first 6 games. Get some stability, get some consistency. And as I said, get Sancho and Varane into that team as soon as you can. Get those 2 players into that team integrated as soon as you can. Because if you see what Pogba did today, and you see what Bruno did today, and then you add Sancho to that, that is a devastating front 3 of creativity. It really is. And then Varane pushing us higher up the pitch, maybe changing the way the midfield works. I sent 2 super chats. Why didn't you read them out? Says Tabres. I missed them, Tabres. Sorry, I read that one though. And accidentally triple captain Bruno. I'm not complaining, says AJ67. Mate, I didn't even put him in. I can't bloody believe it. It's like missing the first goal of the season today on my bloody phone. What a prat. What an absolute prat. But it's been a great day. I hope you have checked out the fan vlogs that we've had from Adam and Ricky. I loved Ricky's because I had to listen to it twice. I was like, all right then. So where are the... where's the... where's the... conversation about Bruno then? He just didn't mention Bruno. I was like, all right, okay, we're not talking about Bruno then, are we? But you know, it was fantastic from United today. I really enjoyed it. So let's have a look what Tabres is moaning about. I sent 2 super chats. Okay, why didn't you read my super chat? Okay, so you've sent 2 super chats to moan about super chats not being read. Fantastic. God, Saturday night dance. I like the way you move. Right, why is this not loading up for me? Okay, it's not even loading up, Tabraz. So actually on this stream, you've sent 2 super chats, both moaning about them not being read out, and every other super chat's been read. So there we go. Bit weird. I think Tabraz is just a troll by the look of it. Sometimes they will be trolls. Can't be arsed. I just can't be arsed with people like that. It's like today, like, I'm sure most of you watched my match reaction. I had some sad wanker who was just like clipping me up about McTominay, and I'm like, if you're not going to listen and be part of the community, I've got no time for you, right? They clipped me up and said I was having a go at McTominay. What did I say in my match reaction? I gave him 7 out of 10. That's not having a go at him. I said he played really well. I said he was good at the interception, good at energy, good passing. But then what I said was, as good as that performance was, Was it a Kante-like performance? Was it a Fabinho-like performance? Was it a De Bruyne-type performance? Was it a Kovacic type of performance? And what I said is it was a good performance, but, you know, what was it good? What was it good? Did he drive the ball forward? Did he take people on? Did he run the midfield? Did he spray big passes? Did he score a goal? And that's what I was trying to say. And I understand that people might have taken it as, well, you know, what you're talking about. But I'm like, it was a very Scott McTominay good performance, where he's very tidy, his energy's good, and he wins few tackles. Is that good enough for us to win the league? I don't know. But what ultimately I said is he played well. I don't think Fred played that well, and I don't think I don't think you can gloss over it with a goal. I thought he was okay, but I don't think he played anywhere near as good as McTominay. And as I've said before, I think McTominay does tend to play better when he's got license to get forward, because I think the best attributes of McTominay are getting forward, not standing on the edge of his own box. But it's the same with Ollie. You know, I don't think people want to give Ollie any credit today, but I think you've got to give him a 9 out of 10. I thought he was absolutely bang on, really. And I expect more of the same for the next 6 games. I don't think we're going to be challenged properly until the back end of September. So what we're doing for the next 6 games is being consistent and not slipping up. And you've got to keep these players on the toes, because I think if you just hug them all and say, you're all amazing, this, that and the other, that's when we get complacent. Oh, we're in the Europa League final, we're going to win it. Oh, no, we're not, because we've bottled it, because we've not actually focused. Focused determination is really important for United over the next few weeks. And I think we will be all right. Mooney, I am a big fan of Kovacic. That's why I mentioned Kovacic. If you don't like him, that's up to you, but I like him. I think he's a good player. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Tabres says, Ollie's the main reason we lost away against Leipzig in the final. He is our main weakness. No subs. He loves McFred and doesn't want any midfielder. There you go, Tabres. You got your say. Any latest update on Camavinga? Not at the moment, Sumia. We will have a transfer show in the morning, though. And the 8 o'clock show tomorrow night will obviously have Ricky on it as well. So we'll look forward to that. The manager was Sir Alex Ferguson. I will always call out as I see it in my eyes. Okay, Tabres, thank you very much. Everyone else, have a great night. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. And do check out Ricky's reaction. It was a little bit later than we thought it was going to be. Adam, Beth, player ratings. It's all on there. Have a great night. Look forward to match of the day. I'll speak to you all in a bit.